So as this video shows, we took a differential from Mercedes-Benz 190 and so it's actually a whole rear axle, including the mount of it, and everything here. And I removed the brakes and I drilled them through exactly the same way those holes are to mount them to the differential, so that they are not springing or moving anymore when the wheel here springs, and they will stay fixed in the same area. So I cut from the mount of that differential that I showed you right there. I cut the back of it where the 4 screws on the rear here comes, as you see, and this one will be welded here somehow, because those both are not the same distance, because they were fitted for the old chain driven axle, not for this one. Here are the brake calipers. They are going to be mounted somehow to the frame. I have those wheel knobs, or how to call them, they fit here, and I think I'm gonna weld them out there. The only problem I have is that if once I have to change these bearings, I have to change the whole thing here, and it's not so easy to get one, and even if you get one, you have to grind it out. There will be a lot of work, but who cares? This car is not gonna run on the roads and hundreds of miles or kilometers. It's just made for such events and stuff. It's more a show car, cycle car, DIY, call it whatever you want. And this way I removed, and I don't need any more, this chain driven axle I made. It's actually very sad, because I loved it and I worked a lot on it, and I was looking like a crazy for that differential here and fitting the chain, and there was everything, a lot of money, I had to pay. The brakes I fitted out there, and the wheels that I welded myself and made myself here, as you see. That's pretty sad. I'm going for such bigger wheels because the height of these wheels from the ground is less than the front wheels, and that it looks a little bit bizarre. I wanted to make them a bit higher than the front ones. It's a hot rod in the end. The front lights are gonna be changed, not those yellows anymore. I'm gonna put some bigger ones, 18 centimeters, 7-inch I think, or something. Those ones are too small. I made another grill. The first one I built, I know where it lies here. Didn't like it, it's too small, and so I made another one. I found this net here. I cut it in half and I put it in it. I like it. The turn signals, I made already a video on how I made them. I built them myself, but I have problems in my computer, so I got another computer. I still have no editing program on it, so to make everything. I'm gonna keep the motor. I wanted to go for a Ford Fiesta 1.1 liter carburated motor with the Mercedes-Benz 190 automatic transmission, but it won't work, Somehow some professional guys and mechanics here and stuff, they told me forget about it. The motor is not gonna change gears with that primary or transmission, and even worse, it will be the air pressure that this transmission needs will not be, So I could go with a Mercedes 2-liter engine from that area, but the chassis, the front axle, everything is not made to carry such a big, huge motor So I prefer to go smaller, but now I'm gonna use a lawnmower transmission, 3 gears, forward, neutral, and 1 reverse. Still waiting. I purchased on eBay, still waiting that it comes. I think I saw some go-karts made with that thing, especially here in Germany, because you don't have that torque converter. You have to buy it from America, and who knows if they will send it to you, So, or if you're gonna receive it, or if you have to pay taxes on it here, and it's a long story. So with that, that's why we go mostly for such gearboxes and stuff, or that delivered with a motor that here, as you can see it, that clutch, but it's 1 to 2 or 2 to 1, so I didn't want it, and it makes it too wide, the motor, and it has that clutch inside it, and it sucks anyway. You have to change it every 1 or 2 years, so especially with such a heavy thing here, with how I'm building, it's not gonna work for me. So this way, even I'm gonna sell it one day, there will be no chain from the front to the rear rattling somehow, and another chain here. It's not gonna work that way, Yeah, I'm gonna keep it easy and simple. I'm gonna make such kind of wishbones on the rear here to, mount the rear axle. The differential will be mounted to the frame. The other ones, I'm gonna make for sure such rubber stuff to avoid deep vibrations, and those bearings are gonna be mounted to the kind of wishbones, I know how to call them, that goes to the rear here, and yeah, that will be my rear axle with suspension. I bought already other bicycle suspension. They are lying out there under the bicycle wheel, but I don't know, maybe I'm gonna go for such bigger and more flexible ones, because those ones are pretty hard, I don't know for the rear if I'm gonna use them or not. Have no idea, still thinking about that. Still haven't made a 100% plan, but those ones I'm not gonna cut them because they are really welded, TIG welded, out there, so it's not gonna be easy to, cut them. And if I cut them, I will make my frame for sure thinner, or how to call it, Yeah, so I have to avoid that, and as I said, I need my Mercedes-Benz rims right now to fit on those, or maybe I can get some other ones that fits on that axle and goes to 15-inch wheels or something like that. I think those ones are 15-inch too, or 16-inch, but the rear ones with more rubber on them, it will be nicer, I don't want them to be too much fat tires, here, but they have to be more, and I think 150 or 160 maximum, no more. Yeah, the clutch here between the motor and the transmission will be handmade with belt, and when you push the pedal, such heavy springs will be here to there are some guys on YouTube that made that, and I found it a good idea. 3 wheels, one goes to the crank of the motor, one goes to the crank of the transmission, and between them how to call it, belt will be not so fitted so tight, and another third wheel controlled with that spring to push it together. And once you push the clutch on the left foot, for those especially in America who don't know, the clutch is on the left, the pedal that goes to the left foot. When you push it, you release the pressure on that belt, and almost all good guys that watch such kind of videos, they know the clutch and stuff. I'm sorry for that, but you know what I mean. And this way I can keep my transmission, my steering rod that I here built already. I don't have to lay it other way, because with I tried to film, to shoot videos on how I went through all the details, but every time it changes and stuff, before even I upload the video or edit it, so I didn't do it. I said, let me make it to the end, and then I take the last decision, and then I will upload it. As I said, the problem I had was always the speed. So it runs, everything was okay with that chain and that handmade quad engine converted to transmission, but the problem is that the thing, it didn't pass 32 kilometers an hour per hour. It's pretty slow, you know. It's fast speed of a bicycle. When a bicycle goes fast with 28-inch wheels, they can easily break 32-35 kilometers an hour, so, or even faster than 50. But I wanted it to go to a speed, a cruising speed here in Germany, 50 kilometers an hour. And what made me nervous more and crazy, it drive me crazy is that when you push the gas more, I drove it on the street here on the outside, when you push the gas to the 32 kilometers an hour, and then you push more gas, the engine goes faster, the RPM goes much higher, but the transmission or something was wrong with those, I don't know, chain stuff, or it didn't go faster. You hear the engine louder, goes much more RPM, but the car stays on 32 kilometers an hour. And that bothered me, you know. I wanted to make it faster, till 50 or 60 kilometers, like normal cycle cars, what the guys drive and race out there in America and everywhere else in the world. So yeah, the cross members here are gonna be changed, of course. Maybe, I don't know, because the motor is gonna stay here or have to turn to the other way. Still don't know how the new transmission I bought works. If it will be here mounted here or somehow I don't know. And yeah, there will be crankshaft here to the end. Yeah, like a real car somehow, but I want to try to keep it as much as possible like a cycle cart, you know. Yeah, other lights, as I said, they are much bigger out there, lying out there. Oops. And yeah, but they will light in yellow, you know. I'm gonna make a yellow cover for the LED bulbs inside. Yeah. So thanks for watching again, and I will be pretty happy for your feedbacks and support. And when I say support, I don't mean money support. You don't have to give me money, but I mean supporting me morally with thumb up and sharing my video and stuff. That's what is important. I will never use this option of please support me financially and stuff, you know. I don't mean that. Thanks very much for your support again, and like, and see you next video.